First off, can you tell us your name, where you're located, and the name of your business?
Sure. My name is Kevin Scalaro, and I am located right now in Goiânia, Brazil. And the name of my company is Streamer.
Oh, thank you for that intro. It's always exciting to
Mhm.
hear about entrepreneurs from different parts of the world, each bringing something new to the table. Uh, let let's now get into your business. Can you tell me a little bit about the aim, the goal, and the vision of your business?
Yeah. So first off, my business is a Texas business out of the United States, even though I am located and working remotely in Brazil. The company is a company from the United States based out of Texas. And we are a content creation company offering content creation services to small to medium-sized businesses, creating things like blog articles, AI images, and we're starting to get into AI video production as well. And we aim to really fill that void for companies needing to hire their own in-house content team and use us as in a as another alternative uh, for outsourcing to hopefully save them some money. Since we are based in another country and we have access to global talent, we are able to bring in talent from lower cost areas, which helps keep our costs a little bit lower as well.
Mhm. I see. So, can you tell me a little bit about the vision of your business that you have? Whether it's been achieved or not, I'm not too sure, but what are some of the current goals that your business plans to achieve?
So some of the current goals are really just getting some solid contracts with other organizations. Usually that's the harder part is getting long-term work with these bigger companies. Um, so the vision and the goal is really to get those bigger contracts and get that work kind of a steady flow and to really bring some impact to their company by showing off our skills and putting our knowledge to work in that content creation with the research that we do and the imagery and artwork that we create with it.
I see. I think that's quite a clear and meaningful vision. And I think
Mhm.
definitely one of the most important things for entrepreneurs is really having a strong why behind what you do, right? It is really what helps entrepreneurs stay motivated through the ups and downs. And it's really inspiring to hear how you've defined your purpose. So, from your personal experience, what kind of knowledge do you think is essential to become a successful entrepreneur?
Well, experience is to me number one. Getting that hands-on experience and then really just running the company and doing it. When I first started my first business, I didn't have any business knowledge. I didn't have any experience, and it made it really difficult for me because I had to basically learn as I was doing it. And you make a lot of financial mistakes, and they cost you. Um, a lot of money sometimes for making those mistakes. So the advice that I would give you is really to come into running a business with some business knowledge, and you can achieve that from multiple sources nowadays with the internet and such. But really, some good business advice is what you need, not just anything that you find on the internet, but real successful outcomes like they teach in a college, for instance, getting a business degree, taking business classes in high school and then going on to college and doing a business degree there, either a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, like I did. Um, so now starting my third business, having that business knowledge is very helpful. Although a lot of the stuff that I have learned in the college, I did learn initially from that first business where I had to kind of figure it out as I went. Um, but my advice to you is really come into the business with the knowledge, not try to learn the knowledge as you're doing it, because you're going to make a lot of financial, um, you know, mistakes, and they will cost you. So if you have that knowledge and that skill coming in, you should be able to save some money by not making those mistakes.
It's a really great perspective. I think it really shows how much there is to learn outside of just schools or classes. And real world experience really teaches you lessons that you can't always get anywhere else. Thanks so much for breaking that down. Now, moving on to our next topic, what do you think are the traits, abilities, or skills that you would say are necessary to become a good entrepreneur outside of just gaining experience, about, financial matters or anything like that alone?
Well, so I think you need to be a people person, especially if you have a business that is a service-driven business, and you're involved in that. If it's a small business, you're probably going to be involved in some of those business decisions with clients. So I think having some people skills is beneficial. Although it's not necessarily required if you can hire other people to do that job for you. But if you don't, and you're really a small business, like one, two, three people maybe, you may not have the resources to have somebody else do it for you, and you will have to do it yourself. So therefore, I think you need some people skills. Second, I think you need to have some financial knowledge on how to manage your money, really coming incoming money and outgoing money, and looking at the ROI of your skills and what you're really doing with the business. So if you're doing something specific like marketing efforts and sales, then you want to be able to track that and to see if it's really working for you. And if not, pivot and make it start working for you by pivoting and going a different direction.
Totally agree. I think definitely people skills really do set successful entrepreneurs apart. Usually, I think the people who leave the best impressions on you and other people are often the most successful ones. And also having a really strong financial foundation and basis is also really important to kind of develop your business, especially if you're starting from the ground up. So, yeah, it's really cool to hear how you have developed and relied on those strengths to kind of form a really successful business. So now let's move on to talking about strategy. What tips, methods, or techniques have actually worked for you when it came to making sales or growing your business? And this can be in terms of any sort of marketing work or any sort of, going outside or talking to people or, etc., that really set your business apart from others.
So I think some of the strategies is really just coming up with a good marketing and sales plan and educating the team so they understand exactly what you're doing with those marketing efforts. Otherwise, it's wasted efforts, wasted money, and you lose customers because maybe they don't know and they're trying to figure it out. So really making that plan for marketing and sales, and then training your marketing and sales people to know exactly what to do when those leads start coming in.
I think that's super valuable insight. Yeah. Yeah, I think hearing what actually worked for someone makes things feel a little bit more doable for listeners. And yeah, definitely educating your team on the trajectory of your business, especially in terms of marketing, because you want to stay kind of like consistent in your branding, right? I think that definitely makes for a really long-lasting impression on your customers and also for your business in general for the PR as well. And now
Mhm.
let's shift to impact. What kind of difference do you think that your business has made so far? And what kind of impact are you hoping to make as your business grows?
So my business now is a small business that it's fairly new, so we haven't made too much of an impact yet. We're still working on branding and getting our name out there and getting those customers flowing. But from my experience in my other businesses is really you want to the impact that I did make, let's say from my first business, I did that one for 8 years, was really I made a name for myself in my community with the advertising that we did and the work that we were achieving, the people we were meeting. We really made an impact in the community. We had news articles done on us. We were in newspapers, magazines. We were on radio. We were doing a lot of different stuff. So our name was really getting out there, and people were starting to understand who we were and what we were really doing. Um, so I think that is where we made the impression. We even had some awards that we had won. And so again, getting our name out there by entering these competitions like television awards and advertising awards really helped again get our name out there and make an impact in the community. So I think that that's the impact that we really made with my first company. And like I said, I'm still working on getting that impact to happen with my new company, which is my number three company.
So what kind of impact do you want to have with your number three company?
So I'd like to achieve similar results. I'd like to, instead of in my local city now, since I'm working globally, is I'd like to be known more on the internet and globally with that same type of scenario. So when people see my brand, for instance, again, they know what we are about, what we do, and what we have to offer, and what kind of company we really are.
Yeah.
So brand recognition.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think it's quite amazing to see how businesses can have such a meaningful impact on whether that's a community, a cause, or even just one person. And I think your real story can really show how impact can grow with intention. And your three businesses adding up definitely have made an impact for sure. Um, and finally, I would like to ask, what actionable steps can teen entrepreneurs or young entrepreneurs in general take now to bring their product or service to the people who need it, do you think?
Well, it really depends on the product and service, but I think the fundamentals are the same of what I talked about earlier, and really absorbing as much business knowledge as you really can before you take the leap of just throwing your product or service out there. Because again, you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to lose customers. And customers they see or leads they see that you're unorganized and you don't really know what you're doing, they probably aren't going to do business with you because they will have a suspicion that their money won't be put to good use. So, or they won't get a good product or service. So, really coming in with some business skills, I think, is really essential for any new entrepreneur, no matter what age they are and what type of business it is. Come in with those business skills, even if it's fundamental. If it's a one-man show, it's okay. Come in with a little bit of financial information to know how to do a budget, how to write a contract, how to work with a legal team or a lawyer to get your legal documentation in order for your contracts, and to be able to pursue any legal means if you need to, because it will happen. You will need to have that knowledge and that skill, and you don't want to wait until it happens, and then start researching a lawyer and trying to figure out what to do. You should already have that stuff in place. So legal documentation is very important. A little bit of business skills is essential. Good communication skills, I think, is very important. Being able to stay on top of communication with all the different communication channels out nowadays, just being able to manage those communications with your customers, and having some organization in that area, I think, is very powerful. And really just, like I said, some financial information to understand how to create a budget, and how to manage the incoming money and the outgoing money of the business bank account, for instance. Because if you're a one-man team or a two-man team, you're going to be very involved in that, and doing your business books even for accounting and keeping track of taxes. Those are all important things that you will be involved with heavily until you grow and get more people on the team who can then take over some of those jobs for you so that you can apply your area expertise somewhere else. So you may not be the expert coming in for all areas of business, but you have to work in those different hats initially to start, because it's just you. Unless you have some angel or in some kind of investment money that you can work with at the beginning and hire a team right out the gate, you'll have to do it yourself. So you'll need to have those skills. And if you do have money and you are able to hire a team to start, that's really valuable. And then you can allocate the different jobs to your team. And again, then you will then have to become more of the project manager or the program manager, managing your team to make sure that they are doing their jobs and you guys are getting along as a team as well.
Absolutely. I think practical steps like honing your business skills, making a budget or a contract, or working with a legal team can seem really far-fetched, especially for young entrepreneurs, but they can definitely help them build real confidence in especially managing their money, which is super important in making a business because obviously you have to sacrifice a lot of funding in order to make it work, first of all, and also taking action. So you broke it down in such a way that's really easy to follow and super helpful. And thank you so much
Thank
for sharing your journey with us here today. I do have one final question. Where can our
Okay.
listeners or watchers find your business or follow your work?
So my current business is Streamer, Streamer, dot LLC is the website, and you can find our work there and what we're doing. We do have a couple of different brands also that we have created, and they are also on that website. One is called Live Music dot Camera, and the other one is Live Pro dot Camera.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll definitely be sharing this with our listeners and watchers. And yeah, that's basically it for our interview. So I will stop recording right now.